Well, the government has, throughout this, had a very clear plan of the way in which we need to deal with the legacy of Anglo-Irish. Last night what we have done is that we have brought to an end the whole saga of Anglo-Irish. Recall 5 years ago, we entered the Dáil and had a similar debate where it was about writing a blank and open cheque to save Anglo-Irish. Now we've brought Anglo-Irish to an end. I think that is an important milestone. But also we are in continued and planned discussions with the European Central Bank to deal with the legacy of that and to get a structure on that debt that allows Ireland a sustainable future, that we can build on the progress we've already made, both fiscally and in the wider economy, to build a strong and sustainable Ireland within the European Union. I think everyone has recognised that the legacy of Anglo-Irish has had to be dealt with, and this has been part of a plan that the Minister for Finance has been pursuing over a very long period. This has been something that was planned. The government was well prepared for that. Obviously it had to be introduced quickly, and because of the information getting out into the public arena. So the government moved quickly to introduce this to protect the Irish taxpayer. That was the central purpose of this, to make sure that the Irish taxpayer was not exposed to further erosion of really important assets worth over 12 billion. That had to be protected, and that's why government moved last night. We were fully prepared for that, as you can see from the comprehensive nature of the legislation. So this was part of a properly planned response. Well, clearly, I can well understand the uncertainty that staff are suffering. However, the debts that have to be recovered and dealt with, that continues to be an issue. And the liquidator and NAMA will continue to require staff to deal with the management of the issues. This bank has not been in an act of lending. It has been about recovering debts from its loan book. That continues to be an issue, and it's been very, very clear that many of the staff will be redeployed by the liquidator and NAMA to work on that. Well, the government has always been very clear that we need to get a sustainable pattern of payments on the legacy of Anglo-Irish. The previous government put in place a promissory note arrangement which has been extremely expensive, and the government's objective has been to get a longer term and a better repayment and a sustainable schedule. That continues to be the objective of these negotiations. The government has put proposals on the table, and clearly those are in discussion, and this is part of a very lengthy process that Michael Noonan has engaged in over a long period. Clearly the timing of last night's legislation was necessitated by the information getting into the public arena that the prospect was that Anglo-Irish IBRC would be liquidated. Anyone knows that if the prospect of a liquidation gets out into the public arena, that business cannot continue. People will not continue to pay that. Others may go into the court to challenge the taxpayer's position. So we moved last night ahead of any erosion, any possible erosion of the taxpayer's interest. And I think that was what was important. That was done to protect, first and foremost, over 12 billion of assets belonging to the Irish taxpayer.